Good evening, one and all. Whether you're something or other, or I don't know where I was going with that. I was reading Fred's file name being son of a monkey, and I was thinking of making a primate joke, but then it's like, nah, let's not do that. Let's say hi to Fury instead. Hi, Fury instead.
Huzzah, it's Fury instead. Man, I tell you what, the way the games have gone so far between these two, it's been kind of, I don't know, just weird. Like, you had a feeling game one would be like a 2 or 3 minute difference, and it turned into some sort of a 10-minute difference because of a wrong turn in nine. Game two, you thought, wow, Random's got the first couple of dungeons, and even with the blip, it was going to work out for him. And then suddenly, Fred goes off to the races and leaves him in the dust. So I'm wondering if game three is just going to be kind of more neutral, close, and hard fought game.
Well, it's going to be curious to me. I feel like both of them could look back and say that they lost one of those games, each respectively, by not exploring an extra room or two. So, is there going to be that correction? Are they going to maybe explore that extra room or two? And how does that work out?
Yeah, it's a catch 22. It's just like you skip a couple rooms and it has what you need, or you go really deep into the dungeon and it has a hard container or a boomerang or something that you really aren't looking for. And if you try and 100% the seed, then you're really in a bind because your opponent at this level is not going to be that far behind you. So, yeah, I don't know.
Oh
It's to
man,
each
when
their
they
own.
even start in sync, you just feel an extra sense of hype when that happens. Alright, so the exploration begins. What you want, particularly early on, is an open cave that can have a sword. What they're going to settle for is the Aros item being the magic boomerang. So, we're able to do a couple things with that, just not kill many things.
Yeah, it's good for stunning at this health point, though, so they'll take it.
I feel like Fury maybe has a little more practice than Fred at that, just from various things like Seeds of the Week, etc. Though, depending on how long it takes to find this sword, that may be a little bit to Random's advantage. And there it is on display right there, as Fred unfortunately takes that early overworld death that Random didn't take. So, just a little bit of difference in the comfort level with Boomerang only. For those who maybe had to step away and were looking for the last SMB3 Randomizer Game 3, that's going to be over on SpeedGaming 6. It'll be right after the current event wraps up, so if you want to catch the end of that, no harm. Want to make sure everybody gets a chance to enjoy all the good stuff going on. Speaking of stuff going on, we've got level 6! Notice how I didn't say good stuff going on with level 6, I just said stuff going on.
Speaking of six, are you kind of the Rick 6 bandwagon, where you look 5 or 6 rooms in and then you bail without a repeatable weapon that does damage?
I'm okay with the whole idea of a progress block. Uh, when I need a key, a bomb, or to defeat an enemy to be able to advance, that's a good time to just turn around and leave. It also makes more sense to do that when you have the open staircases. When they're blocked off like we have in these flags, it just doesn't really make a lot of sense to dig, because you're really unlikely to just find something sitting on the floor.
Pretty much in the same boat. I don't like doing too much with the blue candle as far as clearing rooms by going in and out of them 3 or 4 times to kill off keys or gels or whatever happens to roll down either. I just kind of like peeking in, go through the open rooms once I hit the block. If it's a big dungeon and I picked up a key, probably not going to burn it, but you never know. Sometimes you kind of change your rules on the fly based on what you're finding and how blocked up you are in other spots.
Yeah, like as Chad has said, the idea of going in and finding that extra key or maybe a bomb pack sitting on the floor, that's pretty inviting. Alright, Random is down into the forest here, has picked up that candle, so is able to explore these burn bushes and a couple Armos spots. So, some good things you can do here, but you're going to have to leave the level 2 recorder spot behind for now. One of the hints shops, there's 2 of them. They will be of no value to us as community hints only are on. Community hints mean they were written by the community. They are nothing resembling actually useful, but possibly very entertaining. Random's gonna get a compass in this level 4.
Yeah, it looks like it's probably going to be a linear 4 based on the starting room. Otherwise, could be segmented, but with kind of a stretch going up there, I think one of those 2 possibilities is the most likely, unless we're just really, really tiny in the first 2 or 3 levels.
By the way, didn't mention this last time, but we got 36 rupees on the medium secret. We're gonna get a little coast exploration. We haven't seen this item yet. $67. This is a poverty seed. And that's a wand on the coast.
Yep, repeatable weapon, so definitely will see the runners go back for that, I would think, the moment they get the ladder.
Does also, of course, mean that the ladder's not our overworld block. 20 for a pack of bombs, that's decent. I mean, it is vanilla after all. I'm slightly surprised he bought 2 packs, but then again, you can't force a bomb drop yet.
It just depends on which way he's planning on routing on the overworld. You could definitely make a case for going early Death Mountain with a decent chunk of bombs, and the Indy roads will take you up there, so maybe he's banking on getting a sword and making that play early to try and differentiate his route from Fred.
Got that mixed overworld, so you have a lot of spots that have to be checked. They won't all be live, but you don't know which ones until you've tried it. There's level 8. Now, this is one that could always get interesting because of the 2 items available. I feel like into these flags, you're seeing that and immediately assuming it's transport.
Yep, you're guaranteed the 1, and good chances that there's going to be 2, because a lot of times these bigger dungeons like to segment.
Is Random gonna be able to get to that Triforce room from here? 1 bomb wall and you find out.
Yeah, he's definitely going to spend the bomb and try and find out.
It doesn't cost anything to get a look at what's up this way. And some keys which are going down to bats, so maybe we even get a floor drop out of this room. Like a 4-pack of bombs.
Refund hype.
And it is a free Triforce in 8, so no item, but a Triforce and the ability to get back here with a recorder.
Worth noting, even in a poverty seed, wood arrows are the primary item which you expect the runners to buy, and Fred immediately, once he got enough money for it, bought them.
Well, he did buy bombs first, because he's Fred. At least I think he did. Well, if nothing else, he was thinking of the bombs first.
Gotta be prepared for the Dodongo, so no surprise.
A lot of bombs on the floor in this 8. We could probably take care of Aquamentus with a bomb.
Yep, and it was a guaranteed staircase because of that key in the corner.
And it's a red ring! That's a big find!
Yeah, this overworld is sufferable with the plink damage that you're going to take from Gurias, so it definitely is going to help him get through the overworld and find his wood sword.
There's a bunch of things out there, but I feel like it's especially true with the red ring that the earlier you get it, the better it's going to serve you. I mean, it's like the magic key and the red ring especially, they just have so much value when they're that early pickup.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that RandomEffekt didn't go that direction and find that item, but it's not a primary item, at least, so if it takes him a while to get back there, maybe his combat is good enough to get him through the seed without it for a while.
Probably the worst thing for him is just the idea that makes it very possible you never get it. Because he may not be in a position where he needs items from 8 that he doesn't ever go back. Random gets a sword to the back, unfortunately. That's going to be his first death. Meanwhile, we're 10 minutes in. Better part of 10 minutes in. And still have not found this sword. Where do you think it's hiding at?
Vanilla.
Well, interesting, because I think we saw both runners down on that southern coast and didn't go left to check that.
No, they did the loop around with the bombs and the candle to go back through the forest, so neither one actually went towards Vanilla's start.
Ooh, one of the red Octoroks went down to the boomerang.
Yep, worth noting that the slow and fast Octoroks have different HP values, so always test both red and blues to see if they'll go down to something, because there'll be different values. You may get low enough on one of the rolls.
Yeah, when I've done some shenanigans seeds where you do random drops and it can be any item, you learn to realize that some of these things are really considered different enemies, like the fast and slow Octoroks, because they have entirely different drops. Which is kind of a clever way to get more enemies out of the same sprite set.
Yep, we're going to find out if we get our first Fred of the match here momentarily, it looks like.
Knock next time. We can't knock on wood, we're not superstitious around here.
Hey, you know what?
There you go.
I rolled it. I kind of knew what kind of stuff we'd be in for, so nothing surprises me anymore.
Haven't mentioned this yet. Fred is playing with the Gibdo sprite, so when you see Link going around the screen, that means those are Gibdos. And White's sword item is going to be the heart container, so you need enough hearts to get a heart. Trying to stay away from the evil bubbles, Fred dodges them well enough to get in the transport staircase. So, we touched on this. This is a game 3, so it's now literally all or nothing, because this is the last spot to advance into the payout for the tournament. So, this is the bubble race. And the winner of this will go advance to face Truant Gamer in the brackets.
Yeah, there's no easy matchups anymore. Truant's played a ton of Z1R in the last year or so, beyond what he was playing beforehand, so no longer that easy of an opponent, and looks like we're off to the races a little bit already with Red Ring and Ladder for Fred.
That also puts Wand in play. Pretty sure Fred popped up there to see that on the coast, And you're not going to turn down a weapon like that, I don't think, although I'm not sure how fast he's going to want to go back there. But it's a pretty compelling argument, in my opinion. And RandomEffekt has his sword just a couple minutes later than Fred. Not too far. I always like to see not only what, how long apart it was for the runners to get something, but what did they do with it in that time? So in the time it took Random to find that wood sword, Fred got a ladder. And a Triforce.
But it's not going to be a huge ladder difference here unless these Lionels get RandomEffekt good. So unlike Game 2 where it kind of snowballed out of hand, it doesn't look like that's going to be the immediate circumstance with this race. It looks like we're going to have at least both with the ladder, and that'll parlay into probably early triple damage with the sword swing and the wand equaling 3.
Yeah, not only the range, but the ability to hit things at white sword damage. Fred's not going instantaneously, and I both understand and agree with this, because if there's an off spot that's you're right next to, but it's going to be awkward to get back to it elsewise, you're better off to clean that up, even if it's just to see that it's a level. You probably wouldn't leave a level behind right now. But that kind of thing. You'd hate to miss a location that you were right next to because you were in such a hurry to go get your weapon.
Yeah, you certainly clear the caves out in front of you. I would probably be interested in bailing on like a level 7 if that were the dungeon I happened to find, or a level 6, but we know that that's not going to be anywhere near. Anything small, though, you'd still dig and just try and get through it.
Now, with no keys, you could easily just get stopped out of a level anyways, and then obviously you move on. It's just... even knowing you could maybe do it faster later, but what would you trade off in terms of how long it took you to get back?
Thankfully, the any roads are kind of going to move you around this overworld pretty easily. They are corner for the most part, but one's fairly close to start, where you can kind of screen wrap your way there, so I don't think it's any big deal to kind of skip out of a dungeon. Cost you maybe 30 to 45 seconds, and there are bigger things that are going to decide a match than that, I think.
Looks like Random got his ladder, but not his Triforce out of 5. We're still even on the count, though, because he picked that one up out of 8.
Yeah, I don't really blame him. He's already cleared a lot of the spots that Fred is clearing now over in the Dead Woods, and so once he cleared start, he was kind of out of spots to check on the southern side of the map, so might as well
get a world wrap from Fred to pick up that wand. Nice to have that extra buffer from the red ring there. When you come out to a firing squad.
Now Random has some combat for this level 4, so he can get a little bit deeper into it. We'll see if he can get through all the rooms, as I don't think he has his sword at the moment. I think he just has the wand for combat. I think he got red bubbled in 5.
This looks like the right enemy set for that scenario, however.
Yeah, it looks like Moblin Lionel went down into this dungeon, so we avoided the whiz robes.
Press up A now for 250 rupees. I don't think that works.
A little bit surprised that Random didn't try bombing right in that room that he was just in. It's going to be a snake, but there's always a chance that it goes further out to the right. In this case, it looks like it's going to go up on the left side down the middle, which is kind of the more common play for a dungeon to make, is to stick to the middle, but when you get the stringy dungeons, you just don't know which way they're going to go.
Now, early on, we were talking about, do they maybe adjust the exploration a little in light of how those first two games went? I don't know that we've seen enough to maybe tell if any adjustments have been made, but it definitely feels like they've done basically as much exploration as they've been able to in these dungeons so far.
Yeah, I think for the most part, most of the people in the community just kind of play the game regardless of who you're playing. You just play the way you know how to play, and if it works for you, it works for you, and if it doesn't, it doesn't.
What a 4 that is!
Yeah, I had my suspicions when we saw the entry room and the compass popping up the Triforce location that it was going to be kind of a linear, stringy level 4, and oh, that's a nice block. That's going to be hard to get around. You can ladder clip around this, but it's not fun.
That will not get you to the Triforce, however. This Triforce is arrow blocked. Bow blocked. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, with the item at large, and you can get around that Goma, I think you have to try and get back to that room and see if you can't get around him and go north. Because if the bow's behind there and you skip out knowing that it's a Goma block, that might be the end of your race.
Chat discussing a couple things about what this level shape might resemble, but obviously it's cactus. I mean, that's not even a meme. It does look like a cactus. Alright, so RandomEffekt is getting the business in this fire turret room. You know what? That was a firing squad room. That's what I'm going to call that. Very appropriate name when Lionels meet turrets.
Yeah, BMOS and Lionel's firing at different kind of directional lines as we find level 1. Basically, right next to your start screen, you see.
Took the Lionel beam as he was trying to move away from the other Lionel beam.
Magical 2D flute in 1.
That was... for random, that was a really difficult one. There's not much you can do there because you're watching a Lionel beam, 4 enemies, and 2 turrets. And your eyes can just only take in so much at one time. So, that is a totally understandable result. But he decides that that Goma is enough trouble, he'd rather have more health.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's one of the situations where the red ring is actually going to pay off for one runner over the other. With Random, he couldn't really afford to take any hits, whereas Fred's going to be able to get through some of those rooms when he gets there, just because he's going to have the red ring, and he can just kind of bully his way through.
Look, here we go. We have Fred covering some new territory with level 1. We are looking for a floor drop, and we are looking for a staircase item. And oh yeah, there's a Triforce in the heart container as well.
We'll see if he sets up a container. I think he's already over to the right, so not as relevant. But looks like Random's going to go back to the dungeons he's found, so if the 6 doesn't have an item that pays off, it's going to give Fred some more time to get through some of these smaller dungeons.
Also with level 1, you're more likely to be dealing with some bomb walls that you can get by, so hopefully not quite as key demanding as it could have been, but we shall see. And that's not terrible. Really, game? You had to argue with me that quickly? Oh, recorder in 1. I guess that was the floor. Thanks, JLo, for being a great tracker.
Yep, magical 2D flute is magical. So what's... Well, I guess he's going to go this direction, look for a key, and then he's going to look in the staircase, which is a fair play. He was able to look at this room because he had a free pack of bombs on the floor.
Keys are a great reason to check an extra room in 1. And the bow is in 1. This is big news for Fred. I say that because just a little while ago we saw on RandomEffekt's side that the Triforce in level 5 is Goma blocked via a shutter door that Goma is protecting. So that bow is absolutely required. And oh, by the way, you commented on it at the time. Fred made the arrow purchase.
Yep, so he doesn't even have to go to the arrow shop to get his arrows, but yeah, RandomEffekt getting key blocked out of the Triforce in 5 and bow blocked out of the Triforce in 4 has set him behind quite a bit at this point, but still, it's just Triforces that he's down out of those dungeons for now until Fred finds the item out of 4, so could be worse.
Now, let's not maybe lose sight that, in theory, Fred could be in Go mode. He could have all the items he needs to complete this one.
Yep, it's certainly possible, but we don't know exactly which level is going to be blocked and by what it will be blocked.
Silvers are the biggest thing outstanding that we will absolutely need. Those could be in 9. So, maybe a little too early to say could be Go mode, but he may not need the item out of any of these dungeons along the way and just need the silvers in 9. But let's see what level 3 has. It's a short one, and you're probably going to want to be sure you leave with the item if at all possible.
Now, the one thing that's working out in RandomEffekt's favor in this level 6 is every single room pretty much that's been a drop room has had a key, but I guess that's not going to be an advantage for long.
Red Coughlin has located the magic key in level 3. He now has all the keys to be able to complete this one. That's good for exploration. It's overall progression-wise okay, but RandomEffekt has located the Raft, and we still have to find out if that's required. I believe level 7 is our only non-located level right now.
I don't recall seeing 2, but I may have just missed somebody stepping into 2. Otherwise, yeah, I think 7 would be the outstanding dungeon.
2 and 7. Be confirmed. We did see 9. And Triforce for random at 6. That's a pretty good result out of 6 to get the item in Triforce that fast. Fred got his item out of level 3. Now he wants Triforce. Now he's got a compass to tell him where that Triforce is.
Yep, gonna do the quick turnaround now that he has that compass. I'm actually...
He's looking for a heart container. He may not have seen the white sword item yet. I think that was in the Lost Woods. Random slot, but anyways, it is a heart container, as we saw earlier. But if you haven't seen it, then it makes sense that you would want one more heart to be sure you could get it.
I'm almost positive he's seen the heart container, so I'm actually not entirely sure what he's going for in this dungeon. Maybe just wants extra hearts, just to have them. That's about it. I know Random saw the heart container first, and then Fred cleared out the same spot when he was going to do his world wrap with the wand.
Yeah, that's pretty logical. I don't know. The only other thing you could maybe find would be the bomb upgrade that you could come back to later. or just wanting enough hearts and saying, okay, I've got 4 and the red ring, but maybe 6 in the red ring is more his comfort level. A lesser seen potion purchase, which I'm actually quite fond of because it's nice to be able to preserve that choose any for an extra heart if you have the option.
Yeah, I don't know that mags will ever be in play, even with the extra heart coming out of the Take Anyone.
Ooh, RandomEffekt gets firing squatted.
Yeah, the best thing that could happen would be to have him go left one screen and bomb, but he's not going to in one bomb, I don't think. He'll bomb the definitive cave, so really needs to find a bomb shop here.
I mean, he just got that Raft, and I've said this before and I'll say it again. I'm a big fan of checking something like that, because the biggest potential advantage you have with any item is using it as soon as you get it and your opponent hasn't gotten it, and it turns out to be something. I think somewhere in there I had a coherent thought. But if you got the recorder early, I like checking the recorder spots. If you got the Raft early, I like checking the Raft spots.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense to kind of route those in, but you don't want to go crossing the entire overworld just hoping that that play works out for you either. You want to kind of progress naturally that direction.
No, but I like how Random is doing this. He's moving towards this level 4 check. He's hitting the burn bushes along the way. But this is a play to check that Raft spot, and that's exactly how I like to see it. Think how Cactus is the meme answer for Name That Ink Blot. Final Fantasy is now the default answer for Recorder. Here we go, Raft spot number 1. No. Just a medicine shop. That's Vanilla's second quest, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Arrows for Random, which is important because he saw the Goma block, knows he needs those arrows. Still has to find the bow, of course.
Yeah, I'm no good for answering the second questions. I got bodied so hard in the second quest that I just kind of gave up with it.
RandomEffekt is in level 5. So this doesn't feel like one where we should see too much in the way of combat blocks ever since we got the wand. And we've seen both runners, pick up Triforces at around the 10-minute pace mark. Now we're starting to get a little momentum, get it a little bit faster. Random's got a good key count, even if it's not the magic key that Fred picked up, but I always feel like when you're around at the 3 mark, you're probably feeling good to get through a dungeon. Between what'll be necessary and what you hope to find there. Goma giving Fred the business, but he gets through there. He missed out on bombs, but that's okay because he was maxed bombs anyways.
It looks like the item and the Triforce are going to both be in that little tail off to the right. Fairly likely that the item's right in front of the Triforce or in the room.
And a key door, because of course there is. Throw as many blocks as we can in here. And it's gets the silver arrows. Fred is just this shy of Blitz mode. We still gotta see those other levels. But he's probably gonna go mode dungeons at this point.
Yep, and with the Raft looking like it's not paying off for RandomEffekt, the one that really could throw him for a loop would have been 6 if he Triforced and go that specific dungeon, hoping to get there, because the item's so close to the Triforce, but just past it.
That's really what Random needs right now. He needs the Eastern Raft spot to be a level that he can get to that Fred cannot.
Yeah. What's good news for Random, though, is he got bombs, he upmade saved, and he's going to go left from his start screen and find level 1, so he's going to get the bow. And once he gets the bow, he's going to know he can go back to 4, and once he goes back to 4, then he'll get the silver. So it's not like he's out of this race, it's just that he's a step behind at the moment because of the order in which he's found dungeons and which he's dug them as well.
And there's that quick record out of 1. Now, 1 can be a little unpleasant about draining your keys in the wrong setup, but hopefully it's going to drop a few and keep Random rolling on that front. Chat asking about the death count. I think Fred's had 2.
Yeah, he had an early death for sure. I don't know if he's had one lately ever since the Red Ring, but he got smacked around early. To answer the question, chat, the Unity key's in 3, and I suspect both runners will end up with it, just because Random's going to kind of naturally progress that way before he gets to a go mode situation. And you're not going to leave the item in 3 behind when not in go mode.
I think he could theoretically be in go mode before he gets through there, but when it's short and everything that's outstanding is helpful, you may end up just going for the clear anyways.
Specifically, the level 3 I think was up the ladder, so basically one screen right, one screen up from the starting location for the seed. That's why I think he'll probably end up going there in fairly short order. He may not go east immediately, he may go west first from this dungeon, but I think he'll find that before he goes back to 4.
RandomEffekt has his bow. It is Triforce out of level 1 as Fred Coughlin is back into level 8. Actually, this may be his first time, but this is our first time really seeing exploration of 8. Oh, yeah, he was here. This is where he got the red ring. But he didn't have a weapon, so he couldn't do that much. He got the red ring swordless, was an important difference.
Yeah. What's also interesting here is Fred's going to absolutely go mode this immediately with only one item outstanding. RandomEffekt, if he gets blocked by, say, the power bracelet, is going to come back here a lot quicker because he doesn't have the red ring.
Now, as far as what we know, the only thing that could be there that would matter would be the power bracelet.
Yep, but it's definitely still in play. We're still down 2 dungeons, and we're kind of running out of recorder spots at the minimum. And with only 1 raft spot left, it seems kind of plausible that the power bracelet's going to block at least one of the dungeons.
And chat now knows what they're rooting for. Mainly a good time.
I mean, they're rooting for a raft block, and that dungeon having the power bracelet in it, and then you get into the power bracelet block dungeon, and there's a bait block, and all sorts of shenanigans. They always root for pain. When you're not playing, root for pain.
There was the magic sword in the Lost Woods. We are nowhere close to having enough hearts for that.
Random cleared Western Death Mountain. He's going to flute away, which I actually find a little bit interesting that he's not going to go northeast here and clear those spots out. Perhaps going back to level 4 in a hurry?
Maybe. You know that Goma, you know it's not that many rooms. Remaining anyways, he didn't see to the north of the Goma, but he may be able to get through there with a lot more health now.
Yeah, if he can get past the Goma block and go east immediately, then he may choose to do that rather than go through the Lionel and Moblin and Projectile Oh My room and just kind of hope that the item's over there with the Triforce.
I also can't remember if he was on 4 max when he came through. I think he was only 3, so he could really only take the 1 bop. Now he's got 2. That's definitely a difference.
See, I started talking about troll scenarios, now chat's just formulating away, trying to figure out what the worst case scenario could be for both runners.
Well, now on Fred's front, he can just treat it like the raft doesn't matter until he runs out of overworld spots. Once he does, he's got the recorder to start going back into dungeon.
Here goes Random just ignoring that awful room to the north here and just going towards the Triforce. It's going to pay off, so he's going to get an extra 45 seconds to a minute back here.
And there's his silver arrows. RandomEffekt gonna grab them 40 minutes in. Bit behind when Fred got it. But how about this? 40 minutes in, 5 hearts for RandomEffekt, 5 hearts for Fred Coughlin. We have not added to the max very much. So the big difference maker in a low health seed, that red ring looms large.
Yeah. Somewhere in some dark corner, Chest Jerk is just sitting there saying everything is fine, this is fine. But
no,
in reality,
he's saying he's sad. He's right there in chat.
Oh, I guess so, but yeah, low heart seeds when you have a red ring versus a green tunic situation, yeah, that actually is a little bit more painful, but at least both have potions. We're gonna see if one of the troll scenarios plays out here shortly, though. RandomEffekt would be benefited greatly by this raft spot.
Here we go. If we get past a few Gibdos. Also, the silver arrows give a magic sword damage, so that's a big damage increase. It's a bomb shop!
So this will actually push him back towards level 8 a little bit quicker. He's probably going to have to also bomb Eastern Death Mountain. He's also just going to give up on the screen, because he's slamming the raft spot.
Yeah, it was just giving him the business, and I don't think he even had anything else right there to explore. Fred has everything but level 2 and level 7. We know the raft is not required. I don't think we've seen the desert recorder spots.
Don't recall what spots each is checked with the recorder. I know Random hasn't checked much yet.
Fred went to the Lost Woods. He got that part done, and one of them got to Vanilla 2 first quest.
Yeah, I kind of feel Fred would have gone east there if he hadn't checked something, though.
All right.
Seems
Apparently
odd.
our tracker JLo's going above and beyond, and he's been tracking the spots, so we've seen all recorder spots. Overworld block has to be the power bracelet now.
So, you have to go to level 8 to get the power bracelet. Would pretty much be the only scenario left.
RandomEffekt's gonna get the magic key. And Fred has picked right because he also had level 6. From his perspective.
Correct. From his perspective, he doesn't know what's in level 6.
It's always important to remember that, but just as a viewer, when you're seeing these races, you gotta remember what somebody doesn't know they don't know. Or something like that. How ugly is that mugger?
It's an easier decision for Fred, at least, because he has the red ring. That's going to be an awful fate for RandomEffekt to go from 5 to 4, because it'll put him into Lionel Beam or a red Wizro Beam to death situation.
Yeah, he's fully capable of forcing bombs and making the pain of giving that bomb up less severe, but that just doesn't feel good. You always want more bombs. The only time I've ever seen somebody not want more bombs is when Fred's in testing mode and has it hacked to have 255 bombs.
Still think my favorite testing mode scenario that has played out is when he tried to like enhance blackout and he made the whole overall go blackout mode. Still waiting for that feature.
By feature, you mean torture? Triforce out of 3 for RandomEffekt.
Speaking of torture,
things up now, he's got everything but 2 and 7. And he's going to have to get his way back to 8.
I enjoy...
You should know that it's 8. There's the power bracelet for Fred.
I enjoy the likely son of a monkey moment from Fred there with the Dodongos and the 4 or 5 bombs that turn to 0 without killing one.
Right enemy in the overworld to try and go for some bombs.
Yeah, you can see a little bit of frustration there for Fred, killing all those enemies, getting nothing.
Now, here's another little factor. Fred may not go mode these dungeons. Because whichever one he finds next between 2 and 7, there's still the possibility the other one is Raft block. So especially 2, if that's the first one he finds, you have to figure he's gonna try and clear it out completely.
Yes, he will absolutely dig 2 for the Raft. He will absolutely bail level 7 Raft. That's the way I would think he would play it. That's the way I would play it in his specific shoes on this one.
Well, I mean, your alternative if it's 7 is that it's 6. That's like saying, would you like it to get a hammer dropped on your left foot or your right foot?
Now, if the item's one room into level 7, that just ruins all of our strategizing and game planning here on the commentary booth.
They were perfectly valid scenarios to ponder.
But the reason why I would bail on 7 is simply you have the recorder. You can bail on 7, check all the spots for 2, and go back to it if you happen to be trolled by a Raft spot.
Level 7, we're looking for a staircase, we're looking for a Triforce. Compass wouldn't stink either. This one is going to be a staircase, right?
Yep, required staircase here. Whether or not it's a transport or an item, find out.
It's the white sword!
I would say that's
Fred
pretty significant.
Has improved his damage, but that's not actually what he wanted to find, or so he thinks. However, actually that is good news from his perspective. Because that means that couldn't have been the raft to troll him, so the only way that it trolls him is if it's a required raft back in 6.
Yeah, the worst case scenario is a quick and easy Triforce in a huge level 7 and you haven't found your item. And he found his item really quickly and then found a compass all within about 8 to 10 rings. So this is exactly the scenario that he would have rooted for, I think.
Yeah. Aside from the fact he got it out of 7 quickly, it put him in largely the same position he was before. So, in this scenario, I don't think there's any question. You gotta hit these other power bracelet spots before you're going back to 6. It just doesn't make sense to do anything else to me.
Yeah, Ram's quickly running out of flute spots, so he's going to eventually get the same news and go back to level 8. The unfortunate side is I think Fred's going to probably find the information on whether or not 2 is blocked by the raft or the power bracelet shortly. And we know he's going to find level 2 in the power bracelet spot. So I don't know if there's enough time for RandomEffekt to make it up pre-9, so he's going to have to hope for a really unfortunate route in level 9 or a trolley level 9 to just kind of get caught back up at this point.
In other words, a normal level 9?
Well, we say that, but game 1 was not a bad level 9 at all, as long as you happen to go up far enough to hear it.
Apparently the Choosanies were all power bracelet blocked. Fred's gotten 2 more of them now. So I think he's down to the start power bracelet.
Did he go Death Mountain West? Because we're going to find Red Ring for random, and he's probably going to be a little sad that he didn't go this way early now.
It's unfortunate, but you're not going to be upset that you finally got it, and that's a medium secret.
So Fred's basically going to completionist this overworld minus the raft spots, which probably doesn't feel great to him, but he's at least found a lot of the items quickly in dungeons and in the right direction, so... And he got to skip 6s.
I don't feel like that's bad progress time under these flags. And now that you know the raft isn't required, and all you gotta do is get a Triforce out of level 2, that part's feeling pretty good.
At best, you stumble upon the book in level 2 before the Triforce, and you find the Triforce immediately after.
I mean, realistically, when you're thinking about this from a Fred perspective, the only thing that could have gone better was getting the power bracelet out of 8 the first time. The item progress elsewise has just been everything it could be.
Worth noting that RandomEffekt just got his power bracelet and is going to go immediately to where level 2 is, so it's definitely not over.
Now that's very helpful for him. He is still going to have to get to 7, but I do believe that's going to be the next closest spot for him, so there is that.
So we're looking at rough, ooh, bait block there. Too bad it's not going to matter, because all these walls will open in this dungeon. But,
you say that, but they haven't opened yet.
And,
there's the boomerang.
Appropriate response at this point in the seed, I think.
So, red candles in 9, and books in 9.
Yeah, I would say it's give or take about a 3 or 4 minute lead at this point. So it just depends on, can RandomEffekt make up that difference at 9? This is assuming that he kind of goes a natural route, which would lead him towards level 7 a bit quicker than, say, Death Mountain armor spot, or armor spots, excuse me.
It's been a low health seed. They did not have very many hearts for the vast majority of the time we have played this one. That made an early item pickup out of level 8 matter a lot. Fred Coughlin got that red ring early. He took a couple less deaths than random from that point on, and he's used it to good effect. I can't say that he right ordered the dungeons, but everything worked right in those dungeons for him. One thing let Random close this back a little bit more was the fact that the power bracelet was in 8. Fred go-moded that 8 until the game stopped him because he had the recorder to be able to get past a potential block. We found out that the recorder was not the block and the power bracelet was necessary. Fred, back into 8, found that power bracelet pretty quick, found his 2 missing levels pretty quick, now enters level 9 and begins the search for the kidnapper and the kidnappee. We are listening for the roar of the kidnapper, the shutter door that does not open of the kidnappee. And manhandlers are on the way. He's in this room. I feel like that's automatic. You gotta kill everything to find out if that shutter door opens. Anytime it's that easy.
Potential fake roar with just the Aqua Menace there. Yeah.
And that's why Fred's going back in to check.
Yeah, you'll hear a little bit of an audio blip, but he just wanted to make sure.
The easiest way to be sure you're not getting out is to go back in after you've killed off the room, and then if it is Ganon, you'll hear Ganon.
Yeah. Blue Wizrobes are not keys. If they're blocking a shutter door, it's time to move on at 6 hearts, even with Red Ring.
This is another room that's pretty easy to figure out. I probably would have finished that one off. And there's Compass.
And a Triforce out of 7, so both will be a 9 before the end of this.
Can RandomEffekt find a different path and get to Ganon faster? That is what he's in need of right now. Fred's only been in here about a minute and a half so far.
Yep, I thought it was going to be a 3 or 4 minute difference, but 2 minutes. That's all he's got. That's a book I would...
I get it. I get it just for... Oh,
there's your roar.
Never
Never
mind.
mind.
Never mind. I didn't hear that, but I totally understand where Fred's coming from now. We got Ganon, we got White Sword. That is another advantage that Fred had. He picked up that White Sword, so it only takes half as many hits.
Old man trying to help RandomEffekt, but not listening to it.
The kidnapper is down. Fred has the compass. He didn't find the path yet. There's still a chance we need a magical staircase.
Yeah, that's why I'm a little surprised, even still, with the book not being picked up. That 7 or 8 seconds probably worthwhile, or 10 or 12, whatever it is. It's not a lot.
Now, the biggest reason, in my opinion, is you're looking for possible bomb loss.
Well, he's going to go back, clear this blue Wizrobe room, and hope that, well, maybe he'll bomb left first and then clear that room. Oh, no, it's actually...
You could
yeah,
bomb
it is.
north here as well. He's got 7 bombs. I would try bombing there.
You don't have to. It's literally this room. You don't have to do anything.
There we go. And GG's in chat. Fred Coughlin has advanced in bracket play for the 3rd year in a row, I think.
It was me and Bogey, Jay Coper, and Eat My Steel, I think, last year. But yeah, Fred made it pretty far last year, too, if I remember.
So 4 remain in this Zelda 1 tournament. RandomEffekt put up a good fight. sure we have Fred joining us. Let me see. Official time on Fred is 57 minutes 24 seconds, so a sub-hour. So, there's your level 9. That's a big one. And we have a Fred.
Good evening.
How fast is your heart pumping right now?
I wish I had one of those pulse monitors, because that would definitely be a very high number, I think.
Do we really need a pulse counter when we have a monkey counter?
Well, yeah, but it's not running during the race.
Well, actually, I'm curious about this one thing. How close were you to getting the book, or did you see by compass that you really didn't need it?
I knew from compass that it was the shutter room with the wizard, so I had known that, and I walked into the stair. I would have grabbed it, except that the shutter door masked Ganon when I walked into that room. When I went in the stairs and I started hearing the roar, I'm like, oh, nope, turn around. And so got back out of the stairs, and then was just going to bomb around after I did the key door, but didn't need to even do that.
Well, you advance in brackets, and you get Truan up next. How much have you raced against him in the past?
I don't know if Truant and I have raced that much, actually, somehow, surprisingly. I'm not sure exactly our history, but I don't think we've had much tournament action. I'd have to go back and double-check things, but all I know is from everything I've seen in all the other communities we're in, Truant is another really strong player. I mean, he's in the semifinals right now at this tournament. You know, you don't just get to cakewalk into this far into the tournament. He's incredibly solid, so it's going to be another tough battle here coming up this week. I'm going to just do my best and see what happens.
We have RandomEffekt a few stabs away from getting Ganon down. You obviously talked in the race room, but you had to realize one of the biggest differences was that early red ring.
Yeah, that ended up being a good one. I think I was swordless when I got that one. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, because I think I was, yeah.
Candle only.
Yeah, and so I went into that level and said, okay, I just need to do something to be able to go in, kick a few rooms. I said, Aquamentus, okay, Aquamentus can die in 2 bombs. Let me do that, especially when I saw the possible stair room, and then that red ring ended up being pretty darn important for that side of things. Let me just tank a lot of stuff and just focus more on running, especially once I got the magical key then too, because then it's all you have to do is clear enough rooms to find out where the compass is, and then just run to the Triforce, ideally.
Now, one other thing I was really curious about, it was a low health seed. We weren't really getting a lot of hearts out of the dungeons. And then you get that heart mugger. How much did that hurt?
I mean, if I didn't have red ring, that would have been a giant pain in the butt. For me, it was just, okay, I've got to do something here. I've got, I was like, every second against RandomEffekt counts. RandomEffekt is such a strong player that, you can't do anything. You got to play top level there. So, I mean, that one definitely hurt. I've been resource starved on a few of these seeds so far during this tournament that has, come back to cost me or almost cost me on several races. So, the bombs had to stay pretty much no matter what.
All right, and we have RandomEffekt finishing with a 102.05. A very valiantly fought seed.
Yes, great race again to RandomEffekt. That was a tough one, and again, if I'm gonna play against some of these people, RandomEffekt, someone who's been around pretty much since the beginning. He's always top level. His vanilla times, let alone times in this game, are always incredibly strong. So, great race to him. Just as we were saying in the chat, if Raft had blocked something instead, this one goes to him because I was going last chance into level 6. If 2 had been behind the Raft, I think he would have had this race.
Well, I'm about out of things to ask you, Fred. Any final thoughts?
That was a fun race. Looking forward to playing Truant. Thank you both for calling this. I'm looking forward to watching back the commentary there. And again, thank you SpeedGaming for this on. JLo behind the scenes doing the tracking. Again, always make sure to give those trackers a follow too, because they're people who are doing a heck of a lot of hard work, and often, they don't necessarily stand out. But if they weren't there, this would be a lot more crazy than we see. So again, thank you to JLo for that. Thank you to both of you for calling this one. And again, thanks to SpeedGaming for this on, and looking forward to more madness coming up here soon with the Evil. And great game again, RandomEffekt.
Random, we don't have a lot of time, so let me just give you the floor and anything you'd like to get out in a minute or two.
Really briefly, I want to thank everybody for the tournament and setting it up. And yeah, I think we did. This was probably a much better race than just like sort of the first one. It was just really unfortunate for game 2, I think. But happy to be ending on what I think is a pretty good show. So, thank you. Other than that, I think I was talking to Fred in the chat. It sounds like this came down just a little bit of ordering and items, and I didn't go to level 1 early enough. So once I found level 1 right at the start, I felt behind, and then that didn't feel good. And then when I realized that I needed to get the power bracelet out of 8 because I had exhausted every other option to find 2 and 7, that was not great either. I either felt like we were even or I was pretty far behind, and either way, that's not good against somebody like Fred. So at that point, once I had to go back into 8, I knew it was probably over. But nine does 9 things. You never know. So I keep going.
Yeah, I was to say you were, I think we were pretty darn close. It looked like from what I quickly saw on the restream there at the end. We were within a couple of minutes going into 9, and I got lucky on the path there to Ganon. If that had been a different path, you could have easily overtaken things and done that if you'd found a different path that I didn't find. Like if Ganon was right near start and I just took all the wrong turns there. So
yeah, it happens.
Level 9, exactly. But the fact that we were both able to be pretty much there together, the fact that any slight change of one item on the seed would have significantly swung it. I thought it was a fantastic race, and very glad we were able to make this our game 3.
Yeah, exciting, good stuff. And like I said, I'm just happy to be in some tournaments again. It's really I kind of missed it, and I hope coming forward we're gonna have a bit more in the Zelda 1 community, both vanilla and rando. I'm all about it.
Sounds good. Look forward to it. Try to get something going here soon.
Sounds good. Well, thanks, and GG Fred again. Good luck in the semis.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you both for a great show. It was everything we could ask for in a game 3. Game 3 is everything we could ask for in a tournament. So, thank you so much. Thank you to all of our runners in this tournament, and thank you to all of you in chat. Hope you have enjoyed this wonderful race this evening. And with that, I bid you all good night.